Day one. Time to find the boat, and then we'll find where we're gonna film. Chris is filming Eliocaris. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. Today we're in Brazil at the Rio Tapajós. You can see here the water's pretty murky. This was our first stop. It took us 20 minutes to get here by boat, by car, by plane, 4 flights, and this is the first real view we got after all of that, and it was a letdown. Yes, I've been to Peru and there's been lots of mud in the water, and here are supposed to be the clear waters, but when we arrived it was murky, and every step you took was even more muck and guck everywhere. And so I had to learn very quickly what to do and what not to do. And as you can see here, the first few steps underwater, sulfide gas comes up. You know, we're all afraid of that in our aquariums, but there was plenty to be had, lots of rotten egg smell. Kind of felt like you were in a swamp and not so much the magical land that you thought you were going to be landing into. So as I'm underwater and I'm getting my bearings, and I'm trying to figure out my camera and figure out the snorkel, which I've never really worn long term, and I got the mask fogging up on me, I keep seeing lots of tetras, and that was cool, but where's the other fish, and how am I going to turn this into a video for you guys? That's what's racing through my head here, going, what have I gotten myself into? If it's 2 weeks of this, I don't know what I'm going to do, but luckily, there's still lots of tetras, and then you start seeing some other little things as you look beyond the weeds and the silver and black tetras. Right in the distance here, you can see my first glimpse of a festivum. And boy, was I excited. And then I saw more. There's more in the distance. But yeah, there's all this mulm in the way, and so I've got to figure out, where do I need to go to find clearer fish? Where's the sunlight? What can I do? And so I hop out of the water. While I'm out of the water, I grab my handy-dandy, trusty pool thermometer and see it's 82 degrees, and I'm spotting all these little tetras. Now, all the green that you see here is actually Eliocaris, or hairgrass. We might know it as dwarf hairgrass. It's a different type of hairgrass, but from the land, you can see lots of tetras, and right in the camera here, you can see those are dichrosis cichlids. The problem is, the minute you get in, the muck stirs up. And so what I didn't know yet, but I soon learned, is you got to get in, and you got to sit, and you got to wait. And hopefully the water will carry away that muck, and you just got to pick your battles. And so this place was quite a battle. As you can see, there's lots of mud, and the water is flowing, but the minute you get in, you're in trouble. Alright, now we're in the water, we're in the hairgrass, we're in the thick of it, and we can see fish. Look at that, tetras and dichrosis and a few even pencilfish right here. But as people are walking upstream, you can see all the debris coming across the camera. And here's where I learned, oh, I kind of want to be upstream from people, not downstream, or I got to get way far away so stuff can settle out, because this is not making for a good video. When it clears, it looks amazing, but when someone takes a step, it looks terrible. But this is the flow you can expect in one of these little tributaries. So I reposition myself a little bit. I'm kind of now looking head on at the water flowing to me, trying to just figure out how is this going to work. People are now further away, so the muck's not quite as bad, but you can see here that there's lots of hairgrass still, lots of pencilfish, lots of tetras, and lots of kind of mulmy. There's on the screen there kind of a palm frond, and just trying to go, okay, it looks pretty good up at the surface where you can see the rippling, you can see the sunlight coming through. I love that effect. That's what I built my aquarium lights to do. I love this, but I gotta find more because I'm still hunting for more than just tetras, and I don't know where stuff lives yet. So still looking through here, but also wanting to document what is it like, because I really wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. And so I keep checking out different little things. Here's a top shot coming down in where you're gonna get to see, like, okay, so some wood, and then you've got the hair grass flowing to the left, and then you've got this mulmy spot. And when I saw this for the first time, I thought, people need to see this, because this is more like what an actual aquarium would be if you were aquascaping it, of not just a whole carpet of hair grass, but instead, here's a big patch, then here's some wood, here's some mulm, and that kind of stuff. And then I kind of pan to the right, and you'll see here that now it's a lot of leaf litter. So that is maybe just a foot or so away from all the dwarf hair grass. You can see here's a dwarf pike and some dichrosis living through the leaf litter, and as they move, they waft up some stuff. And so I hop up top, and I wanted to test the water. How, with all these leaves and everything, what are we looking at? We're looking at pH 6.4 or lower. There's absolutely no hardness, no minerals in the water at all. There's no nitrite, no nitrate. It is just pegged out to the bottom. So luckily we didn't have to deal with mosquitoes, because I'm told when the pH is super low, the mosquito larvae can't even handle it. So then I decided to explore a little further, get a little deeper into the water, and I met these tetras. These guys were probably at least 6 inches long, and they had that cool red accent on the tail. Kind of reminded me of scissor rasboras, which obviously they're not, but you can see how much not dwarf, but just hair grass, the sticks, and they were just doing donuts around me for a long time. To get this shot, I had to stay there for a little bit. You can still see this water, unfortunately, still had a lot of debris in it, and so it was still hard to film, but the good news is in the future episodes you'll see a lot clearer water as we kind of got better at hunting for clear water. But this was day one, and now I was really starting to go, okay, this is starting to get pretty darn cool. So I turn around and I'm seeing this on the shoreline. You see these nice red-eyed tetras here. I think they're the blotty tetra. You watch Chris's video for more scientific names. I'm kind of taking you along for the journey here, but it was cool just to kind of look at the vines and just what was going on, and trying to figure out what is the relationship between these. Like, where's the predators? Like, in the top left corner you can actually see a festivum. Like, okay, it's starting to come together for me. And I'm sitting here observing, because I don't want to disturb the water. So you can actually see my shoe in the bottom right coming up here as I'm panning through all these tetras going. There's thousands of them, and you can see there's my feet, and just trying to go, okay, where's the next logical move to make? This is cool, but what's cooler to show than this? And I think this clip coming up right now is that, where, okay, now we're zoomed in, and we can see some of the adult dichrosis cichlids with those nice kind of pink tails on them, almost reddish pink. You see these tetras are a little bit greenish and a little bit metallic. They remind me of Kubota rasboras, in that they were kind of nondescript. But again, they start doing that, let's go around them in circles thing. I don't know why that tetras really wanted to do that, but as you can see here, the dichrosis are kind of moving their nests. There's all these babies, are picking up leaves, or moving them, and I was starting to become fascinated with that behavior, just watching, going, wow, this is kind of a really cool, tiny ecosystem in the span of like 6 or 8 inches. And just to see how much is going on with the plants, there's terrestrial plants that grow out of water, there's the hair grass that will do both, but will actually grow underwater and aquatic, and then these fish. And I keep going, like, where are the predators? Where's the other fish? Like, this is cool. And I spent a long time here, probably 30-40 minutes, just kind of going, all right, this is sweet, because you kind of got to wait your turn to move. You don't want to ruin someone else's shot either. So sometimes you're like, okay, I got to make the best of the spot I'm in. So now it was time to move, and on the move I went, and I saw much more hairgrass, lots more of these tetras. You kind of see what you wouldn't know is that as the water recedes, some of these above water plants get to thrive again because we're in the Amazon, the jungle, right? So it floods, and then it's right now we're at the end of the dry season. And what I didn't know is this actually drops like a foot or two every day, and so that caught me by surprise when I came back. But I'm just looking through here. We saw one little festivum. We see all these tetras. You see the branches coming down into the actual water. You see the clouds are going above us, like actually moving. And so that's what's causing some of the light flickers and changing. Like that's the wind pushing branches. And so that was another challenge I hadn't really anticipated yet, getting even lighting, and so you'd be very lucky sometimes to get the right shot, kind of like this one, like, oh, look at this little pike, and he's going to use this little cave. Isn't that super cool? And that's what I'm focused on, and that's what you guys are focused on. And then you look up and you go, wait a second, oh, festivums. Oh my gosh, they're coming towards me. They're looking at me. They're investigating me. And I forget all about the dwarf pike, and I'm just super happy that a whole school of festivums came to check me out. Now they're retreating back to the sticks from these trees. And I go, oh yeah, what about that little cichlid there? But now I go, I got to get me more of that. I got to chase them down. And so I'm chasing them down, and here's more palm fronds, and oh my gosh, there's a bigger school. And so I'm trying to work with the current and not, one, spook them, and two, not muddy the water and just capture it. Speaking of stirring up mulm, I just did that here right when I finally found angelfish. I was so excited. This was what I was looking for, to see angels and aquarium fish in the wild. And I got this clip before they went behind the wood, and I was so far into the branches here. So I started chasing down those angelfish and ran into all these freshwater barracudas. And that was cool to see. Like, oh my gosh, that's another new fish I haven't seen yet. Keep my eyes out. And I'm going, how can I track down these angelfish? They're supposedly only going to live in the same place, but I got to get over there and not make a mess. And so I'm trying to do that while, oh, there's Chris Lukup swimming towards me. Like, oh, that's going to scare off some fish. So we meet up, we talk, and we geek out about, I just saw the angelfish, oh my gosh. And then I get back in and I start moving towards, I don't know, finding something. You can see that little trail of sand, and that trail of sand is actually where the water gets low. It carves a channel as the water keeps receding because the river keeps flowing. And so in that channel, I'm told, is where you could find stingrays. I unfortunately never found any stingrays, but I kept swimming, and you can just see all of these tetras. There's thousands and thousands, and you'll see my hand, I'm pulling, and a lot of these things are kind of sticky and stick to your clothes, and you're fighting through to move this while not trying to be the bull in the china shop and find these angelfish or whatever it is you're looking for. So you're looking all around. I wanted to include this so you guys saw. You're trying to weed through all of these tetras to see the other things, almost read in between the lines type of deal. And so the visibility here, as you can see, is not great, and so you can't, like, oh, there's the barracudas again, like, let me look through the sticks and see if I can see something. And I couldn't, so I flipped the camera around. I said, hey, let's get a good shot of what this is like, because you're grabbing onto stuff, you're trying to get through, you're floating so that you're not actually if you take steps, you're going to get bubbles, you're going to get the mulm, you're going to get all that, so you have to kind of just keep floating. And at this point, luckily, I'd put my hoodie on because I was getting a wicked bad sunburn, which I didn't know at this point. But so I keep kind of, doing the one dog paddle. If you kick your feet too much, you scare off all the fish. So there's all these things you start learning real quick of how am I going to sneak up on these little guys that see me coming from a mile away, or get to a location without having to wait an hour for it to clear out. So I flip the camera back around, I'm still looking, and, lots of tetras, sea of tetras here. And then I spot a festivum, and I'm told that the angelfish and the festivums will hang out. Now, this is only one, so I don't know if I'm going to follow that guy into nowhere. So I'm still just looking around, trying to survey. How far can I see? I can see about 6 feet in front of me. You look up, I'm looking at the surface. Okay, hey, there's another festivum. And then I go, wait. Here's a bunch of pike cichlids. New contenders entered. Oh man, I better film this while I'm here. Subtle movement, they all dart. Okay, can I kind of get around and get behind them and not spook it and cause too much mulm? So we're trying to see the pikes, but also trying to keep an eye on everything else. Yeah, those pikes are gone. I got no chance, but I can still see some severums. I turn the other way, and now I'm surrounded by these cool tetras again doing donuts around me. So I get caught up in that going, oh, well, these are pretty cool. And when you see 10,000, 20,000 of something else, then you see something new, and it's like, oh, well, I only saw like 50 of these before, not this many. All right, so at this point, I'm told it's time for lunch. Now it's just me because everybody ate and we're done, but lunch was 2 hard-boiled eggs and some water because ants and animals and everything get in your pack, and you don't want it to spoil and all of that, so you eat a light lunch. You also don't have to use a bathroom in the middle of the jungle, and I'm applying sunscreen, looking at all the mud, and just looking at the equipment, and here in a second you're going to see me just absolutely sunburned as I'm talking to the camera and telling my wife's never going to forgive me because her big thing was don't get sunburned. And so here I am showing, you can see how red my nose is, and that's with me. When you see me with the scuba mask on, it covers my nose, and so I'm getting really red, and this is day 1, and that's a little bit dangerous, so I take it a lot more serious. So after lunch I head straight back to the angelfish place where I saw them because they're supposed to hang out there. And what do I see? Wimple piranha. So I'm seeing my first piranhas here. I thought they were red-hooked silver dollars at first, and then I see my first geophagus, and I am stoked because another aquarium fish I like to see. This looks like almost like a 3-spot Damon earth eater, but the little piranhas, I thought they were silver dollars at this point, so I wasn't really afraid of them, and just kind of you can see my attention locked on to the geophagus here, but I'm not seeing any angels where this is where they're supposed to be. And so I sat here for a really long time, and as I was moving around I saw this turtle shell and it reminded me like, oh yeah, there's reptiles and all kinds of other stuff you can run into, like caimans and anacondas and jaguars and all kinds of crazy stuff, but normally it's not that gets you.
It's a lot of contrast. Okay, this is a good spot here, but if I go there, it's over there. I thought if I sink in totally, I'm dead. Because you have been somewhere far away, didn't listen to me. I was screaming for help. Corey was up there. He was with his head in the water.
Yeah.
Filming some. Oh! And
You're sinking.
I'm sinking in. Okay. Oh, what a nice spot. So I'll grab my stuff. Oh God. This is dangerous here. Okay. You see?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, look at that.
Yeah, I've done that too.
I told you.
And then, so what happens? You hit it with a stick. Yep.
I'm from Transylvania. As you know, this will go directly to... Really?
Yeah.
You know, Corey, that I was born there, but this was too much, so I was very careful because I thought, if I fall here, Dracula is over.
You want help?
No, it's okay. I just have to... losing my shoe. Okay.
It's for the people. Everyone can now experience what it takes to get in the water.
Yeah, this is like... But you know what? Over there it's really beautiful. It's just you sit there, the water is cool, and enjoy this spot. Even if it looks like wild, it's not that deep there, but it's quiet. I can listen to the birds, you can see the fish. That's so nice. Back into the water I went. I spent probably over an hour here because I found a place where I could sit and the fish would come to me, and this is where I learned the longer I sit, the better the footage would be. And so I set up a camera, I sat next to it so I could watch it also, and you can see the the festivums coming up to visit, and then you'll get really good wild earth eater shots. And these are different earth eaters, by the way, because they only have the one dot on them. So but seeing them, if you walked in, they just ran. If you set the camera down, you sit and don't move, and this is after like 30 minutes, now you can see their sand sifting action. You can see that they're kind of in harmony together. You'll see the
the festivums, they'll be pulling at algae and little pieces of hair grass, and they're making a mess. But that's okay, because I'm capturing the habitat here of like, oh yeah, the clear water. But if you want to film earth eaters, you have to let them do their thing to actually see what they're doing. And so the sand here is very, very fine. You can see the leaf litters in. We're in about 18 inches worth of water right now, and it can go, it drops off again, but where I'm sitting, I'm out of the water at the moment. And this, just letting this roll, and you can see like, well, they swam away, but if you touch the camera, they dart away, so you just have to let it happen. And I got to observe just how the fish are actually eating, and they're sifting through the mulm, and the festivums are picking at algae and eating that, and then they'll come right in behind them. You can see there's really nice, kind of spotting on these guys, and these are, the juveniles, because the adults that we get to see later in the series here, because this isn't over, are much bigger, and there's bigger species and things like that. And you got to remember, this is still day one. We were kind of learning and seeing what's going on, and so I'm excited to show you guys the rest of this as well, because it got cooler and cooler as we went on, and this was still mind-blowing. By the end of day one, I was like, okay, this is worth being here. I love earth eaters. I was now going, I really need to keep some festivums too, now that I've been seeing them all the time. I still want to see more angelfish, but I was content sitting here while Chris was going below me. So he was further down river, and if I moved a bunch, I would ruin his shots. And so I sat here for quite a while until he said, "Hey, I'm done down here." And then I moved on to kind of before where you saw Chris. It had cleared out where he was, and he was stuck in the mud. I went in there, and that's where I found these guys. So I'm crawling around in the hair grass, and every time I put my hand down, I feel something. Like there's stuff in here. I don't know what it is, so I'm looking for it, and I'm feeling around. I keep feeling, you saw Fry just went over my hand there, like, what is this? And so I keep, feeling around. Now I'm like, okay, I gotta like set the camera down. I gotta trap stuff in here. I gotta figure out what this is. Is this baby fish? Is this, crayfish? Is this shrimp? Like, what's going on here? So I also wanted to show you guys how much mulm is in the plant. So even though there's like no algae on this plant, this hair grass, the amount of dirt and mulm just inside of it, you just touch it and poof, it would keep doing that. But I kept feeling around, trying to get more. You can see Fry right by my thumb right there. More and more Fry. You can see the back of my hand is pretty red because I'm getting sunburns on the back of my hands from filming. My hands look a little wider than they were just from the footage here, but the sunburn's setting in. I don't know it yet. That's the brutal part. But eventually, I kind of get freaked out because stuff's creepy crawling, and I find that there is some shrimp, and we identify him. I actually go and I get Chris because he had filmed here and he didn't know that there were invertebrates over here. So I go and get him, and because he's the shrimp king, or crusta hunter as he used to be called before that, and he's known for crayfish and shrimp and snails all around the world. And I said, hey, you might want to check this out over here. So I brought him in over, and so he was able to check it out too. So we finally get some bigger ones that Chris can, get on camera and look at, and he's talking here, but the camera didn't pick it up because the camera had been underwater, and we filmed it twice, one for his channel, one for my channel. We were really digging in the mud, and it was messed up from that point on. It was getting later in the day. We were towards the 5 p.m. We got there at 8 p.m., so it was time to basically start going home. And so we hop on, and you can see the sun's getting lower. I can't really film, and we're driving out of the trees. Like, we had been in the trees all day underwater searching for what we could find, and now we're daydreaming, like, okay, if this is one day and I got 12 more days of this, what are we gonna see tomorrow? And I got news for you. It's awesome.